Good evening and welcome to this regular session of the Grant County Council. Tonight, the prayer will be led by Mr. Meeks with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Scott. If you would stand, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we bow before you tonight. We trust with thankful hearts for all the many blessings that you've given to us. And we ask you, Lord, that you'd help us to not take those blessings for granted. We ask you too tonight that you would be with these men as they would make decisions, give them your wisdom and guidance, that they would make decisions that would be not only honoring to you, but also beneficial to the people of Grant County. We ask that you'd forgive us of our many sins and our many shortcomings, and forgive us, again, where we fail you. And we ask all these things in Christ's name, and for his sake we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. If you would do the roll call, please.
Scott.
Here.
Connor.
Here.
Hicks.
Here.
Perez.
Mr. Perez did reach out to me at the beginning of the week and said he would not be here this evening.
Poling.
Here.
Lemming.
Here.
Middlesbrough.
Here. We have a quorum. Next item up is the auditor's report.
You have your general fund balance and your health fund balance. I did want to note that on the general fund, the reason that the expenses were a little higher this month is because we had some exam fees that we had to pay out of the general fund to the treasurer of the state, which was about $213,000. That would be why there's a little higher expense this month.
You're saying exam fees for like the
Exam
auditor?
fees that we pay to the treasurer. When the units have the state board of accounts do their audits, we have to fund that money and then we withhold it from the settlement.
Okay,
So we'll recoup it.
yeah, okay.
And we don't know anything about the tax settlement.
No, we're scheduled to do the settlement at the end of May, so we don't have that distribution until the first week of June, maybe the second.
Are there any other questions for the auditor? I would make a note in your packet, you have received a letter from the state of Indiana in regards to a conference that all the county council members could attend. It's Saturday, June the 22nd, 2024, in Indianapolis. And the meeting starts at 8:30, and I believe if anyone wants to go, that you could register them, correct? And we'll move on. If there's no questions. Before you this evening, as well as electronically, you should have received the regular session minutes from April the 17th, 2024. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion.
Under prayer, my name is misspelled, but it's no big deal. Just COMMBR, Commer, which I kind of like, but I don't think my father would have approved. So with that amendment, I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Connor, a second from Mr. Lemming to approve the Grant County Council regular session minutes of April the 17th. Noting the corrections, line 2, Mr. Connor's last name, the correction. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. We'll move on to new business. The first item under new business, item A, area plan Ryan Malott with additional appropriation regarding the county general fund. Good evening.
Hello, I'm Clayton Schultz. I'm a board member of the Area Plan Commission. Randy Atkins, the president, intended to be here today, but called me saying he's ill, so I'm just here representing the board. I did verify personally a lot of the numbers the executive director is about to share, but he works in it more every day, so in general, I support what he's about to share. I'm happy to answer any questions on behalf of the board, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Malott.
We're here tonight to add or ask the council, the commission would like to add a line item for contractual services. In this line item, we're asking that $20,000 be appropriated for the contractual services. What we are proposing is to pay about $20 an hour for a part-time. We're looking for like a part-time inspector for when we get busy. Again, the hope is to be able to bring in an additional part-time building inspector to not only get the department caught up on past permits and current inspections, but to also have additional help to help cover the busy seasons and vacations. As you know, for 20 years, we've kind of played the game of get caught up in the winter, get behind in the summer, get caught up in the winter over and over and over again. So what you've got in front of you, I've given you our estimated construction so far. Through May 1st, we've done over $13 million in Grant County new permits. We went through the permits. Mr. Schultz actually did a physical count. I gave you a picture of the permits below because if you look at it, it looks like there's millions sitting there. But he actually did a physical count. We're at 588 with 359 active. Got 127 permits we haven't seen in 6 months. And we have 102 that have expired and need to move to code enforcement. This is some of the, you've also got in here fees and fines, which is something we are working at starting to enforce. We have forever not had a system in place. So we're going to get with David Whitfield and try to put a system in place so that we can start fining some of these people who are falling for inspections or are actually allowing permits to expire without final inspections or certificates of occupancy. And those fines are already in our ordinance. We just do not have a fine system in place. Second page, I've included an example. Our new software through Mr. Schultz, physical count of our permits, it appears our new software is doing a heck of a lot better than we thought it was going to do. It's exceeded our expectations. The reminders that are being sent out go out at 90, 120, and 180 days, and those also get emailed to us. And since November, December, we have tried to keep up on those. As a reminder, we've scheduled for status inspections, so they're not getting lost in the back of the books. When he told us we only had 588 permits, Katie and I jumped out and started counting, thinking no way. So we were really surprised at how much that has knocked down. So again, third page is just kind of showing you what our average inspection day looks like. This is our math done today. A lot of times when we get out, even though we've got a full-time building inspector, we normally get out of the office at 9:30. There are days, we will have between 10 and 20 inspections a day. If we actually take a lunch, we're out of the office that would leave us 5 hours for inspections. There are some days where we have 3+ hours driving. Just to kind of give you an idea of what an average day looks like. And then the last page is just estimated construction. I thought you guys might be interested in just seeing all of that 2019, what we have kind of done yearly.
If I could, if you don't mind, Brian.
Sure.
The obvious question is maybe, if you're making such great progress, why you need this extra $20,000? Don't you have full-time building inspectors? And the software is great. Mr. Malott and Nicole Bailey and Katie in the office, we're making great progress, I think, compared to where we were 6 to 9 months ago. But then we did lose our full-time building inspector in Nicole Bailey. So we're currently in the process of replacing that full-time building inspector, but we are going to be under budget, at least on that position for this year. And we really would just hate, if we were in this position for so long, being behind permit, and we're finally making progress, we hate to lose that momentum. So at least, if nothing else, to fill the gap until we can get a new building inspector trained. And that's the thing, even once we get a new full-time building inspector, Ryan will have to be doing the writing with them for likely 6 months before they really get to the point that they can be autonomous and getting the things done that we want to. So that's why we come to you to see.
Angie, do you have everything you need?
I do.
One thing I want to know or mention is, if there's a contract entered into, you'll have to have the commissioner's stamp of approval on that contract before you would enter into that agreement. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind if this was to be approved, to make sure that, the APC's attorney and the commissioners have approved the contract.
We understand that.
So no question about it. I think we want to keep the momentum going.
And again, we've gotten down to 588, and I'm thinking that's awesome, but we know we're gonna do between 800 and 900 permits this year. Right now, we're at 222, I believe was the last one we did today. So I know between now and November, most of those permits are gonna come in. So the majority of our permits, we're just getting into. So, we have that big jump come summer that we're gonna be trading through.
And this would be for a licensed, hopefully a licensed building inspector.
Right. We're gonna look at trying to get a hold of maybe some licensed home inspectors or challenge maybe, I've got to find someone who is willing to work when we need them. So that may be a challenge. We've kind of, you've always had, not to toot my own horn, but when Dad was building inspector, you always had me willing to do it because it was Dad. I've got to find that equipment.
Yeah.
And we intentionally built some flexibility into our ask with contractual services. The idea is a part-time building inspector, but if it looks like training, if it looks like someone who can fill other office tasks, well, Mr. Malott goes, we're open to ideas, but the first shot is there someone in Grant County who can devote 10 hours a week to helping us out for a while, or whatever that looks like.
Are there any questions from the members?
Ryan, where do you think the money's coming from? Or explain to me where the money's coming from to add this line item.
This was just an ask for the commission, or for the area planning commission to come for additional appropriation.
We don't have that already in your office?
Yeah, well, if I look back, about every year we give you 20 plus back. I think we gave, because of our past building inspector, we gave like 70 back last year.
But to start this year out, I thought because of the whole issue with one of them, we had monies that we appropriated and there was extra monies there.
Yeah, that dropped off at the end of the year. And we did, and last year you gave us the second building inspector to cover that situation. This year, that's not there.
And we added a part-time person, did we not?
Grace went from part-time to full-time last year.
So technically, we're saying that we don't have enough in the budget to take care of this in the area plan budget. We got to add something from, basically you're saying, general fund.
Right.
Angie, do you have any comments on that? Do you think there'll be any money left at the end? There should be some, but how much is undetermined.
From building inspector.
Yeah.
We anticipate, I wish the president was here. I wasn't necessarily as prepared as I'd like to be, but we are down a full-time building inspector right now. We're not currently authorized to hire a contractor. We're authorized to hire and have budget to hire a full-time building inspector, but we haven't had one for the past month. We don't anticipate having one at least for another month, and they won't be up to speed for a while.
So you just want the contractual money to put them on contractual money until you get them trained and put them on salary?
In my mind, it'd be a different person. This is a stopgap, and if it's something, again, I'm talking somewhat off the cuff of my understanding as a board member. I'm sure I'll talk to the president after this. If he would have said something different, I'm sorry, Randy. But like Ryan said, I anticipate there will be monies coming back to the general fund from the APC that's unspent. because of the vacancy that was left by our last full-time, and there's just extra friction in hiring a full-time person in the training than someone who is willing to come in. And realistically, you're looking at someone maybe at the end of retirement or just starting out that might not be qualified or interested in a full-time position, but might be willing to help us out 10 to 20 hours a week. This just opens up our options.
So let me ask, if hiring a building inspector, full-time building inspector is time down the road, it doesn't look like that we're going to do that just yet, and you're being handcuffed and hiring through contractual services, couldn't we transfer from the building inspector to a contractual services amount?
Yeah, we'd be good with that. We went a month and a half without paying the building inspector. We have someone in mind, but area planning committee, he's gonna do a ride along to kind of see if he likes the job and if he can do the job. And then we've got to wait till our next area planning commission meeting for the commission to hire him. And that, I think our next meeting is June 1st.
And I do want to make clear, that ask is not what we were authorized to present this evening. I mean, the APC asked for appropriation of $20,000. You are the county council, do with that what you will. I am not going to pull back on the ask from the APC. The goal of this is to show that I think the resources are being spent wisely. The money at the top shows the money that's bringing into Grant County. It also prevents the county from being sued and from having issues arise when there aren't permits sitting out there. I would hope that we would be able to find the $20,000 to make this happen, particularly with some of the other things that are going on in the APC office. But I'm not comfortable saying I'm okay with just a moving, because I was not authorized to say that.
I think either way you look at it, I mean, I think the money's gonna be left in the account at the end. It's being unused, right, from the salaries. I mean, I'm fine with the additional 20, knowing that they may go 4 months without filling the vacancy. Just as long as we know moving forward, they're not gonna come back and ask, for those funds as well, for something else.
I do have one question though. If you allow the $20,000 for the contractual services account, you're also mentioning $20 per hour for a part-time. Will that $20 an hour part-time person be considered contractual?
I don't
Not two separate
I don't think
things?
that-
Yeah, that's part of it. The
I want to make
20,000.
sure.
Yeah, I don't think we
Those are two
can,
separate things.
as this body, we can't approve that hourly rate. That'll be up to whatever contract the commissioners and the APC enter into.
That's just our
They're just-
proposal.
Yeah, that's just,
What we intend to spend the money on. We say 20,000 for contractual services. What does that mean? That's what this means in our mind at this time.
are there any other questions from the members? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to,
Go ahead, Mike.
make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Connor, a second from Mr. Poling to approve an additional appropriation within the general fund regarding area plan, a contractual service line for an additional $20,000. Are there any other questions from the members?
So this is a one-time deal for the end of 2024, is what we're thinking.
Yes, I believe that's what they're saying. Are there any other questions from the members? Public input. If you come to the podium and say your name and your address and
Todd Clancy, Fairmount. So to go along with what you just mentioned, that it's just a one-year thing, you're gonna put that into the motion, right?
was,
Because that was a very good point.
I don't think it's technically in the motion right now.
Okay.
I mean,
But
that's,
it's a very good thing to put into the motion.
yeah.
Right? Does not say, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Not just add it to it.
I mean,
Very
obviously,
good point.
yeah, obviously this body is the budgeting body, so when it comes budget time, just make a note of that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other public comment? roll call, please.
Connor,
Yes.
Poling,
Yes.
Scott,
Aye.
Hicks.
Yes.
Fleming,
Aye.
Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries. And it's first reading of those who are present, correct?
Right.
It does pass unanimously.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
We're expecting next month or, a couple months, like 200, 100 permits, right?
That would be the idea.
Thank you. I do want to add a couple items I forgot to mention at the beginning. Under new business, I'm going to add item G, Grant County IT with the transfer of appropriation. And item H, salary ordinance amendment, Chris Cunningham. Sorry about that. We'll move on to item B, Grant County EMS, Don Harness with the transfer of appropriation regarding the county general fund.
Hi, good evening. Well, they ran out of overtime money. It advised me to come back after budget. I'm asking to transfer $3,500 from ALS reimbursement and $2,000 from run reimbursement to the supervisor overtime. And also $500 to our equipment budget from that same ALS run reimbursement. We had an unexpected battery purchase for the COTS. The COTS ran out of maintenance this year. The COTS were part of the deal and they ran out, so I had to purchase them outright. I went ahead and asked for that amount for the overtime, hoping that would be a full year. And it came back several times.
So the request is to transfer $3,500 from ALS reimbursement, $2,000 from run reimbursement to the supervisor overtime, which is the $5,500, and then also transferring $500 to ALS reimbursement to equipment.
Yeah.
Are there any questions regarding the request? If there are none, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Scott, a second from Mr. Lemming to approve the following transfers within the Grant County EMS service, ALS reimbursement, $3,500, run reimbursement, $2,000 to supervisor overtime account totaling $5,500. Also a transfer from ALS reimbursement an amount of $500 to equipment. Are there any questions from the members? Public comment? Roll call, please.
Scott,
Aye.
Fleming,
Aye.
Connor,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Poling, Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Angie, you did advertise for that additional appropriation?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next item under new business, item C, Grant County Highway Department, David White with the salary ordinance amendment regarding the MVH fund. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, I'd like to do is raise the part-time wages. I believe currently the old wages is set at, I believe, $10 for employee with none CDLs and 15 with CDLs. I'd like to raise the employee for part-time help, for summer help, like for a regular employee, $17 an hour. And if they have to hold CDL license, pay them $19 an hour. I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can get a part-time guy to stay and get a CDL and then hire him full-time if there's no case, but I'm working along with this.
And you have plenty of dollars budgeted for the request, and you're not gonna ask for any additional dollars this time? Okay. So it's $17 an hour for non-CDL and $19 an hour for a CDL. Are there any questions from the members? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Lemming, a second from Mr. Scott to amend the salary ordinance regarding the Grant County Highway Department part-time wage rates to $17 an hour for the non-CDL employees and $19 an hour for the CDL employees. That'd be effective today. That's fine.
Have anybody right
Okay. Are there any questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Fleming,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Connor,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Middlesworth.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next thing I had to bring up is, I have a part-time premium pay. And what this is used for is when I have truck drivers that run heavy equipment, we like to pay them what the operators are getting paid per hour. And I apologize because I was gonna check and see what the difference is. I believe it's 75 cents,
78.
78 cents, okay, per hour to run this special equipment. But right now, I have 4 operators all year long. And when they run specialized equipment in the summertime, I'd like to give them that extra 78 cents an hour to give them up what the operators are making that day. So it only is effective when they run that piece of machinery. So otherwise, they get their regular rate.
Yeah, and I know your employees do a really good job at keeping track of what they've done every day and note
Right.
cards, and it's pretty easy to manage that on your end.
Yeah. You know, they have to basically put on their timesheet what they've done and what they've operated every day, so the bookkeeper knows to add that additional money. Right now, it's probably at 22 cents.
22 cents.
Yeah. So in an 8-hour day, that's $1.80. Yeah.
Are there any questions from the members? Angie, you have everything you need?
I do.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Scott, a second from Mr. Lemming to approve within the Grant County Highway a salary ordinance amendment, the premium, to move the premium pay from 22 cents to 78 cents. Are there any questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Scott,
Aye.
Foley,
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Fleming,
Aye.
Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item under new business, item D, Grant County Recorder Kathy Foy with an additional appropriation regarding the Recorder's Perpetuation Fund.
I would like to move $200,000 from my perpetuation fund to my service agreement fund. We're in the middle of digitizing back to 1950, and I need more appropriations to start the indexing. And I asked for extra because probably later this summer, fall, we're gonna digitize back to 1900.
How many people you got digitized?
It's a company that does it.
How many people do you have? Because we did a walkthrough and we only seen one person there, and I've been over there 3 times, there's only one person in there.
What are you talking about?
So digitizing over to Dion, right? In the
No,
records
that's
place?
not me. Mine's up in my office.
So how many people are digitizing for that company?
I don't know, it's a company we hire, and they hire their own staff that index. This is the indexing I'm talking about. that I need
This
money.
is separate than the recorders or the clerks.
That's the clerk's office that's
Clerk's
over there
over there.
doing something.
Yeah. But the rate, the $200,000, is it based on a
They
set?
charge us when they index, because I've already paid to have everything digitized back to 1950. So then this company is the ones that index everything, which means putting in the names and the legal description, so searchers or the public can go in and find the document
Yeah.
by name. So this Condor company is who I hire to do it.
Yeah. This is
And they
the-
charge per document that
Okay.
gets indexed.
How much per document?
I forget. I mean, I have it upstairs, but I don't know off the top of my head. But it's probably gonna cost, they guesstimated by all the images that we have from 67 to 1950, it probably is gonna cost $120,000 to do it.
And this is the Recorder's Perpetuation Fund, which is a fee-driven fund.
Correct.
And really, this is a courtesy on her behalf.
What's the balance?
Question.
$478,998.
We'll put in about half.
Are there any other questions from the members?
And isn't the perpetuation fund for the recorder, it's designed to do exactly what you're doing,
Exactly.
which is perpetuate and preserve the documents
Preserve the
in form
records.
that lasts.
Mhm.
Also makes, I will say this, I know it, it's more efficient because the less paper you have and the more digital images you have, less costly it is for the county and much more user-friendly. I know we as a firm, we use the digital images all the time. It's
Yeah,
just-
I just wanna know how many people and how long it takes them to do this, to see if we're getting our money's worth.
Yeah, but if they go by per piece, I don't know
Yeah.
if you can break it down to heartbeats.
I don't know how big their staff is,
But if you can get over to me tomorrow, I'd like to have that number.
how much per document.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions? If there are none, I entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the request as presented.
Second,
I have a motion from Mr. Lemming, a second from Mr. Connor to approve the additional appropriation within the perpetuation fund within the Grant County Recorder's Office in the amount of $200,000. Are there any other questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Lemming.
Aye.
Connor.
yes.
Scott.
Aye.
Hicks.
Yes.
Poling.
Yes.
Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item under new business, item E, Grant County Assessor Rhonda Wiley with the salary ordinance amendment regarding the sales disclosure fund. Good evening.
As you guys were aware, you told me about the extra money in the fund. I would really like to give it to an employee that has already stepped up and has started helping with the disclosures. She's been buying a lot more businesses that come through. And if you have any questions, I mean, she's a good, it'll stay with this position.
So the request is for
$3,000 raise.
$3,000 for a level 2, correct, Assessor?
Level 2, yeah. She is working on level 3. It takes five classes, 5 tests to get through that. So it usually takes somebody a couple of years to get through.
Angie, do you have everything you need?
The only thing I wanted to say was that if you do approve this, we will need to do an additional appropriation at some point.
Correct.
Additional, is there that thing on there?
There won't be, because you'll have to add additional for things like that.
Okay.
So we'll have to do.
With that, I thought we gave back to, like it goes.
At the end of the year, yes, it goes right back into your fund, but we still budget.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Right.
This sales disclosure fund, right?
Mm-hmm, correct. Well, we can only use it for sales disclosure stuff, so. Paper, employees, binders. I guess I could probably get tires if we need to get tires, because we do have to visit. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's very limited on what you can use it for.
Are there
Do
any
you guys
other,
have any questions for me?
are there any other questions from the members? I'd entertain a motion.
President, I make a motion to accept as presented.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Lemming, a second from Mr. Poling to approve the salary ordinance amendment within the sales disclosure fund in the level 2 position, an additional $3,000.
Effective
Okay,
That'd be nice.
Effective next pay, Angie.
Yeah, so it would be.
Got it, let me.
May 20th.
Are there any other questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Fleming,
aye.
Pauling,
Yes.
Scott,
Aye.
Connor,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Next item under new business, item F, Grant County Commissioner Steve Wright with an additional appropriations regarding the county general fund. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the council. Just coming to you tonight to move some money out of the general fund. This is the EMS fire insurance reimbursement to the tune of $30,467. We'd like to move that on into the equipment side. And there's some things such as storage containers to the tune of about $11,200, and drainage issues for the new building, probably going to be around $10,000 to set drainage. Those are some of the things that we're wanting to do with that money, and some other ancillary things that they want to do out there.
Okay. So the request is for an additional appropriation of an amount of $30,467, which was the insurance reimbursement to the equipment line item. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? There are none. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Lemming, a second from Mr. Connor to approve the additional appropriations within the Commissioner's General Fund in the amount of $30,467 to the line item equipment. Are there any other questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Fleming,
Aye.
Connor,
Yes.
Scott,
Aye.
Hicks,
Yes.
Pauling,
Yes.
Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries. And I'll let you take care of the next two items too, if you want. You have them or? Okay, yep, go ahead.
Okay, next request, this is, I believe at your last meeting, you appropriated the funds from ARPA funds that we received for the ambulance purchase of $1.2 million as well as to, and I don't know if you want to do these together.
That's fine, yep.
And then the other is $650,000 to fix the elevators, dual elevator replacement, actually, to replace those two elevators. That is coming from the ARPA funds, and we would like to move ahead with that.
Are there any questions from the members? This is a routine, we've already approved them in the last meeting. This is just making the additional appropriations to be allowed to pay out. I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Mr. Connor, a second from Mr. Lemming to approve the additional appropriations within the ARPA fund, ARPA recovery fund. One is $1.2 million for the purchase of 4 ambulances. And the other additional appropriation request is $650,000 for the dual elevator replacement here in the complex. And again, regarding the ARPA recovery fund. Are there any questions for the members? Public input? If you would, come to the podium and state your name and your address.
Ryan Howell, my address is 2909 South Branson Street, Marion, Indiana. I was just floored by how much that elevator cost, $650,000, and then the 4 ambulances, $1.2 million. I was just maybe future reference, the council can be more transparent. How come some items cost so much money for the taxpayers? 4 vehicles, $1.2 million, and don't want to repeat myself, but the elevator, you guys probably got good reason to spend that money, but $650,000 for an elevator, I can probably buy 3 houses.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I answer some of that?
Yeah, if you would, if you want to.
Sure, I'd answer a little bit of that. I'm not involved with that as a commissioner. However, I will tell you that it's very specialized. And that's part of the biggest reason. There's very few people that do that job. So the idea of getting them is very difficult, and they may come from hundreds of miles just to do an elevator repair.
This is for the purchase of the 2 elevators in the complex here. And like Mr. Lemming said, I'll follow up. I think there's only 2 companies that can really bid it out. And if anybody wants to start up an elevator business, I think that they might be able to.
Yeah, we definitely take consideration.
Yeah.
The other thing I would add on both of those, and I hate to speak ill of my kind, but go to Lowe's and price a ladder. The major cost in things like that is not so much the cost of making the device, but the lawsuits and injuries from devices like that. So ambulances, elevators, very high potential liability there, so that cost is built into there. And ambulances, I know, have to meet all kinds of codes. It's not something you can go buy on a used car lot. They're basically medical devices on wheels. So, and then on top of that, as was mentioned, the limited market for elevators, there's a bit of a monopoly. So we're kind of held hostage. And I believe we had heard before that there had been occurrences of people being stuck in the elevators.
That happens.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments.
Yeah. One other thing on the elevators. I know there's proprietary companies out there that they can only work on their particular elevators. And so I'm sorry, I don't know if that is the company that we're using or not. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
But that is something that we really kind of take a look at when we're accepting bids. And this was the lowest bid. So, and then on the ambulances, it took us 2 years. If you remember right, I think we approached you before about these ambulances and stuff. You can't fly in chassis.
Like about 300,000 a piece, but my pickup costs 100 grand.
Yeah.
I'm equally shocked at the cost of these things, believe me. I mean, you give me $1.2 million, do you know how many 50s collector cars I can buy?
You got any old ambulances that you could get on that?
Not interested in that. I would take a 57 Chevy two-door.
There you go.
I know this may be a question for Don, but, we was helping MGH out there for a little bit.
Yes.
And maybe, are we keeping a spare or 2? I'm assuming, I don't know.
I'm sure we probably, well, that's a question for Dawn.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but I'm sure we would. And then the other big part of this is by spending that ARPA money, we are saving $190,000 of taxpayers' money on interest. So this is a great thing it's a win-win-win for using the ARPA money for this cost.
Mr. President, if I could at least just touch base on the transparency piece. I mean, these are bid out projects, and it's going to come before the commissioners, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
Mr. Wright, but those bids and that information would be part of that bid package that could be seen by the public.
Yeah,
through the commissioner's
I'd like to
office.
see that. They're more than welcome to come up and ask her. That'd be fine.
Any other public comments?
Yeah, make a quick comment.
Yeah.
Todd Glancy again for now, is on the transparency piece, like what you were just mentioning, it'd be really nice if we had all that in the meeting minutes, the written meeting minutes, and then, you could go back and take a look, months back, and see exactly what was said. So there's a lot of value in the meeting minutes for this reason and a lot of other reasons. Because that's what I do. I go back and look at the meeting minutes, and so they're very important when you go through and look at them and approve them or not for a lot of different reasons. But that's one of them.
Thank you.
And pretty much everything is recorded on YouTube. So anybody that wants to take a look at anything that's said in any of our meetings, the transparency is there in our meetings.
Any other public comment? I think we're ready for a roll call.
Connor,
Yes.
Fleming,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Hicks,
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes.
Thanks, gentlemen.
I will say that we're working on a joint session meeting.
Yes.
And it'd be nice if we could get a date by the end of May to talk about, various issues.
Yeah,
And I know that we're working on it, but
Justin
we
is.
haven't We haven't come up with any good
Yeah,
dates yet, so
I think there's.
I just wanted to make sure.
With you guys and us as well and stuff like that, just trying to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like it may have to go into July. It may have to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to take a look at that. I know Justin's working hard on it.
Yeah, like I
Lining
said,
up this many people,
Yeah.
for a meeting is kind of tough.
so it is something I just want to make sure everybody's aware of, that we're working on a joint session to discuss ARPA funds
Yes, we
and,
want to make sure everything gets spent, that what we have in that ARPA fund, or else they claw it back. And, we sure don't want to give up any money back. And I know Mr. Scott's been working on that as well, with Mr. Stewart, so.
Can you remind us where it goes back to, just for the edification?
Well, the feds take it back, but then they allot it to somebody else. And I don't know about you guys, I don't want anybody else getting our money.
Yeah, but we just gotta have a plan in order. We don't have to have
We
a
do.
bid.
But we have to have a plan, we have to, I believe, sign contracts.
Yeah, but you can change the plan too. The man said you could change the plan at any time.
yep. Well, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under new business, item G, Grant County IT, with the transfer appropriation.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Yep, so this evening I have, 2 transfers, I would like to do. So the first one is, transferring, funds from our training and education account to the, county extension Purdue office. They spent about, $1,290 for, some computers and equipment. I zeroed that account out last year, thinking that was gonna eliminate that account, but I guess that's not the case. I spoke with Angie about it, and she is going to look into taking that line item and moving it to, yeah, to the extension, since they're the ones that spend money out of it.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we pay Purdue the fee, right? Because they're in charge of their own IT stuff, right? You're not working on.
No,
That's what it's for.
It's a fee, right, to Purdue?
Yeah, because we don't answer IT stuff.
Yeah, so we need to put, you're saying put that back in their budget.
Put it in their budget.
Correct, yeah, because, I mean, it just kind of set my account, I never spent any money from it.
Yeah.
The only time I can think when we spent money from it was when we bought 6 or 7 IP phones, and that was back in 2017, 2016.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
The next item is from our security software. I'd like to transfer the amount of $26,462.25 to my contractual services. And this is just to give us the needed funds to pay for the new phone system we are going to implement here in the next couple months.
Can you promise everybody will answer their phone?
I don't know. Well, like I said, they'll have the ability to answer. Whether or not they will, I mean, that's on the individual, I'm afraid.
Are you gonna need more money in this account since you're zeroing it out?
No, actually, the nice thing about it is usually that money we spend on antivirus software. We actually work with the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State actually partnered with a company called Mandiant. They're owned by Google. And basically, they provide free antivirus and firewalls to all counties. So basically, we stopped paying for our other antivirus, which was SentinelOne, and now we moved to their solution. So instead of spending that money, we just saved it.
Now you're
Put
gonna
it towards our phone system.
Okay. And the phone system's where again?
The phone system?
Yeah, who's getting an update?
It's everybody.
Everyone is.
Yep. So this will be the first time actually the county will be all on one phone system.
Or everybody will be IP based phone.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the members?
Is there an insurance product on that, like if it doesn't work, or is there like a fail-safe of some sort, or?
No, so with this system, it's going to be all hosted in the cloud. So the nice thing about it is we have dual internet circuits. Whereas right now, basically all of the voice traffic comes in on a single internet connection. If that goes down, I mean, we really don't have any control over when that'll come up. But we work with the commissioners and we have Metronet. They're our secondary internet provider. So if AT&T, our primary, has an issue, our system will pick up on the Metronet circuit. And with this new system, it will, like the connection will probably drop a second, but it'll pick back up on the secondary internet connection. So that'll give us greater flexibility and people will be able to install an app on their phone. So if for some reason, if they can't, like the internet's not working at another office location, they can install the app on their phone and take calls that way.
So I'll always be able to get a hold of David White no matter where.
Correct, yes. There's no escape.
That's my biggest concern.
But you can uninstall the app too.
Oh,
So
okay.
you gotta watch out.
So is Marcus,
We can run over the phone.
Yeah, true. There's that too.
he'll bury it with chicken.
Fell out my pocket, right?
Gotcha.
You ran over a phone?
Marcus had insurance on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Is there additional service contracts then, the additional monies that will be coming out with having the second provider?
But we've had it for, I would like to think, because the other internet provider, I mean, it gets paid out of the commissioner's budget.
So we've had both?
And we've had it since November, December,
Okay.
so.
We've had it, been paying for it, haven't been using it.
Well, that's just for the phone part. Now, if the internet itself quits working, that piece will still work.
Oh, so
It's just now the
both,
phones.
yeah, both
The
internet
internet
okay.
and the phones.
That
will
makes
work on
sense.
that. And with us going with an AT&T solution, since they do they're our primary internet provider, they guarantee quality of service. So when it goes out, AT&T tags it and it goes through their phone system, and then it doesn't bounce around over the internet. Good. You get better call quality.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the members? I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Scott, a second from Mr. Lemming to approve within the Grant County IT Department the following transfers of training and education to County Extension Purdue in the amount of $1,290. Also a transfer from security software in the amount of $26,462.25 to contractual services. Are there any other questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Scott,
Aye.
Lenny,
Aye.
Connor,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Colling,
Yes.
Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries.
Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
gentlemen.
Next item under new business, item H with the salary ordinance amendment. Mr. Cunningham? Is he here? Angie? Is he online?
No.
In his email, he acted like he was gonna be here, correct?
Yeah, I just assumed he was gonna be here.
Yeah.
I would've- No reason why.
What would you like us to do, Angie? You want us to table it till next meeting, or you want us to suspend the rules?
And the rules.
We'll just read the letter.
This is regarding Grant County Court Services. And this is from Chris Cunningham. He's the Community Corrections Director. Several months ago, the council approved a salary stipend of $5,000 for Grant County Court Services probation. Therefore, we are requesting the current position for Grant County Court Services, Community Corrections Assistant Director stipend be set at the same rate. Currently, the position is set at $3,000, so it would be a $2,000 increase in overall salary. This would be amendment to the current salary ordinance and has been approved by the Community Corrections Advisory Board and the local advisory council. And this would also come from our existing community corrections budget with no impact on the county general fund. Angie, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No.
And it's the 2,000, correct? As a stipend to
It would just be an increase of $2,000 to the salary line.
Does it have to be advertised?
We would need to suspend the rules, our own rules as a board. So the request would be a $2,000 increase to the salary line, which would be, and that's true, it'd be no impact on the county general fund. Okay, so the motion we would need to do would be a motion to suspend our own rules. If you just want to act.
I would make that motion as we normally do it, under $500, so we're asking for $2,000 to get this done. That'd be my motion.
Is there a second? Second. I have a motion from Mr. Lang, a second from Mr. Poling to suspend the county council's rules regarding the $500 limit, I guess, is before somebody would have to be in front of us. Are there any other questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Fleming.
Aye.
Poling.
Yes.
Scott.
Aye.
Connor.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Middlesworth.
Yes. So the rules are suspended, the motion carries. Is there a motion regarding the request?
I'd make a motion to approve the request as presented in his letter.
Second. I have a motion from Mr. Fleming, a second from Mr. Poling to approve the Grant County Court Services, Mr. Cunningham's request, raising the salary line item $2,000 for the Community Corrections Assistant Director position, which would be a stipend, right? I know there was some communication via email that was included, but you have everything you need, correct?
I do.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the members? Public input? A roll call, please.
Fleming.
Aye.
Poling.
Yes.
Scott.
Aye.
Connor.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Middlesworth.
Yes. Motion carries. That's all the new business I have. Angie, do you have anything else you'd like to add? We'll move on to old business. Like I say, I'm working on a joint session with the commissioners. We're still trying to finalize a date. I'd like to have it before the end of the May. We're gonna try to talk about the lit tax. We're gonna try to talk about ARPA funding. We're gonna talk about possibly the Baird agreement. Anything that you want on the agenda, let me know. But I think it's appropriate to now have that joint session with the commissioners and make sure everything's being transparent and forthcoming, whether that's regarding also the jail, the detention center, and the Salem Bank building will all be on the agenda. So yeah, I think that the item A under new or old business could probably be scratched off unless there's any of the members want to discuss. I mean, you do have a current updated ARP schedule request. I will say Mr. Poling and I toured the highway department today, and what a phenomenal job that Mr. White and his crew do. Man, everything's organized, clean. His equipment, top notch, takes care of everything. And I know that some of the requests of ARPA dollars is for some of his equipment. And I believe also that in the recycle center, the canvas for the building, we looked at it as well. And it's no doubt about it that needs replaced, the roof on that. So yeah, I mean, we're not going to take any action on ARPA. I just want to make you aware. We did go out and look at some things. But I mean, I can just run through the list real quick. We've already purchased the 4 ambulances. and we took care of the annex elevators. And Mr. Stewart, he took off the Swayze demo. So next, the recycling center cover, seal repair annex exterior, courthouse repairs, jail design, highway equipment, sheriff's department equipment, public safety radios, township fire radios, and then the riverfront project requests is the top list for the commissioner's requests. And then items to be considered was the broadband, the Salem Bank exterior, tourism and festivals, de-home cleaning, highway equipment, digitizing the clerk's records, Cardinal Greenway, King's Academy demo, Thompson Ray House, and Quilters Hall of Fame. Like I said, I want to be transparent with everyone. I want to make sure that in that joint session that we'll discuss all the ARPA funding then. But yeah, if anybody else, any of the members have anything else they want to add? I will say I also visited the surveyor's office. I know a lot of the records in the surveyors have never been digitized. And I think that's something that as a county we need to be looking at as well. There's a lot of county drainage maps, and it's kind of unbelievable if you get a chance to go up and tour that office. I know that one of those digitizing the clerk's records, but I'd hate to see what water or fire damage would do in the surveyor's office to their records as well. I think that should be something that could be a priority as well, just throwing that out there. But we'll move on. Next item on our old business was an item that we had 2 meetings ago, which was the ECI Regional Planning District request for the city of Marion for the county to pay their fee to be a member of the ECI Regional Planning District. And the amount was $8,453.10. This body did approve to advertise the additional appropriation. Last month, we failed to advertise it. So we have advertised it correctly. Correct, Angie?
Yes.
And now it would be asking for a motion for approval.
That'll be it.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'll give it to Frank. I have a motion from Mr. Poling, a second from Mr. Hicks to approve as a one-time ECI regional payment for Marion's portion to belong to the ECI Regional Planning District in the amount of $8,453.10. Angie, do you have everything you need? Are there any questions from the members? Public input? Roll call, please.
Poling?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Scott?
Aye.
Connor?
Yes.
Fleming?
Aye.
Middlesworth?
Yes. Motion carries. Would you send them an email, or how do you want to?
Yeah, I can.
Well, I think we have the invoice, correct?
I have the invoice, but I also can touch base.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'd like to add an item for discussion. It'd be the Baird agreement discussion. Mr. Meeks has prepared a letter. If you would, just give us an update on your findings.
And if I may, before we do that, I just reviewed this letter. Is this attorney-client privilege communication with us? And isn't this something we should discuss in executive session?
If that was kind of where I was heading, is this something that you want to have an executive session for, or?
Probably best.
Wouldn't it qualify under executive session?
Yeah.
I think that it should only be discussed in executive session.
No, that'd be fine with me. I think that's where we was headed this evening.
Sorry, didn't mean to get ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine. If that would be the will of the council, I would recommend an executive session to discuss this letter and the agreement as well. When do you want to schedule it for? I mean, when would the body like to schedule it for?
How time sensitive is it? Is it something we could just add at the, right before or right after our next meeting?
Well, that's the next subject line. Our next regular meeting is scheduled, technically not on the schedule, but it falls under the Juneteenth, the holiday, the 19th. So I think it'd be appropriate to either move it a week ahead or move it a week after. And so again, that'd be what would the will of the council be?
And do you want to have the executive session
Yeah.
before or after your joint session with the commissioners? That would be another consideration.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, let's just plan for the 12th as a regular meeting and have an executive session prior. Or, I mean, how do you want to word that? Because I know there gets to be some time. Like if we have an executive session at 5, we have to be, make sure we're done at 6.
Right.
And we lost our executive session room.
I offer my office.
Okay. So you want to meet in your office? And then that way the public could allow to be in here? Okay, so do that. You want it just 5 or you want 5:30 with just 30 minutes?
I mean, 30 minutes is enough for me. I mean, basically, everything I know is contained in the letter.
Okay, let's just shoot for 5:30 that way that if you. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, and I have a request. In the future, could you put at the top of the letter, attorney-client privilege on a communication that's intended? Because I know some things you put out, it's for public dissemination and other things, not necessarily, and that's just helpful to me. Thank you, appreciate it.
So our next regular meeting would be June the 12th. 5:30 will be an executive session with a regular council meeting to follow at 6. I believe that's all I have for discussion. Angie, do you have anything else? And we'll need to make sure we advertise that and notify the papers for the change of the venue, change of the date. Yep. Are there any other questions from the members? At this time, I'll open it up for public comment. If you have anything you'd like to say, allow 2 minutes.
You go ahead.
Just state your name and come to the podium.
I'm Clayton Soltz from 331 Main Street in Jonesboro. Just a quick question, hearing about ARPA money and joint session. Will people be able to get on, request an agenda for that? Will there be time for public comment before those decisions are made about how it's funded or things?
Yeah, I would assume that we'll allow public comment at that joint session.
Okay, well, the reason I come is the mayor and I intended to try to get on the agenda for this meeting, but because of personal issues and health concerns in his family, we were able to, so we were just going to say, okay, we'll just get on the next meeting, but if this meeting is happening. There is an update on the Kings Academy situation, and it's going to kind of be a joint venture between Jonesboro and Kings Academy. Mr. Middlesworth was at a meeting about it. We're seeking Okra grant money to help with the demolition of 2 buildings in Jonesboro, along with the old Knight building. We believe we have a better chance if we go at it together, pool our money, we get all these 3 down. And we have a smaller ask from ARPA. Originally Kings Academy came asking for the full funding just to demolish the old building. But Jonesboro, this is not a formal request right now, but Jonesboro intends to come and request $75,000 for moving the electrical service away from the old building, because that is a significant portion of the money. And if we can get that part taken care of, we believe that between Jonesboro and Kings Academy and the public, we can get the matching funds to help cover the rest of the project with Okra. So it might be a middle ground between the city of Jonesboro, Kings Academy, and the county council. That smaller amount of $75 to move the electricity would really help get these 3 buildings down. It's really a necessary step. because Jonesboro doesn't want to take the building over, which would be needed for Okra until the electrical system service has been moved, so that the school can have service not going through someone else's property. There's just logistical concerns, so.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and make sure that whatever, as the commissioners are in charge of the plan, while we have a joint meeting, they'll still have to, the items on that ARPA sheet will have to be put on by the commissioners.
Okay.
This body can request, ultimately, they're the ones that, if it's on that list, we can say yes or no.
So we should go to the commissioners then?
You need to make sure that.
And I've sent a couple guys to talk to some of your people, just saving money on moving out that.
Yes.
I would just make sure that they're well aware of the request.
Yes, and I believe Mr. Wright was at that meeting too, and maybe we can go to commissioners if that's better, but I appreciate your time. I just wanted to put that out there for your consideration and hopefully discuss it at the joint meeting whenever that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ryan Howell, 2909 South Francis Street. I just want to say congratulations to you, Chuck Falling, and Mr. Middlesworth for your guys' victory in your primaries. And I wish you guys best of luck for you guys and everybody involved, even Barnsley and Wright for their future endeavors. And good luck to you guys, and God bless.
Thank you.
I don't know if I ever updated you gentlemen on, county received $1.4 million in community crossing grants about a month ago. So we got to match that. That was for 3 major projects. Paving Willie Pike from the South County line to State Road 26. Paving Francis Slocum Trail from 200 north to 500 north. And then putting a new concrete deck on 38th Street over the river, so we're 200 south. So those 3 projects will be bidded out at the end of June, the second meeting in June for the commissioners. So just, and we talked earlier, what money we don't use will reapply again. So that's a good deal for the county to basically just have to pay half of the project. So just update you on that.
And I appreciate that, and that sounds good. Is that the 38th and, is it Stone Road, the bridge?
Yeah, that bridge there.
Where you knock it off? Put it down.
Yeah, it'll be closed completely, hopefully 3 or 4 months at the most. I looked at trying to do 1 lane at a time, but it was like an additional 250,000, so I was like.
Plus all that crazy traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the update. Any other public comments?
I'd just like to echo what was said, congratulating both of you on your wins in the primary, and also wish the commissioners going out the best, appreciate the service of everybody, and want to congratulate our attorney on his victory in the election as well, and the way things work here, you probably all are going to do well in the fall, so we'll be praying for you. I mean that sincerely.
Thank you.
I really.
Thank you.
Throw out, anybody who puts their hat in the ring deserves credit for running. It's tough. I've been there and done that. It's no fun.
Yeah, thank you.
And the physical transformation you can make when you are running. Congratulations on that as well, Mr. Mason.
Is there any other public comment?
I think you know who I am, but Michael Duke, I'm on Record Bike. Not only congratulations, but I would like to emphasize that, and I think I speak for other members of the public too, appreciation for the elected bodies to provide for public input at different points on the agenda, each point on the agenda. I know it seems there'd be times like tonight where you call for public input and nobody got up and said anything, but just the fact that the opportunity is there. I think the public greatly appreciates that. And we look forward to a continuance of those practices. Thank you.
I really appreciate seeing more and more people showing up to give public input, but more importantly, how civil everybody is being. I think Grant County has a lot to be proud of because we see in the media, that doesn't always happen. People get mean and nasty, and we can still have a civil discussion here, so good job to all concerned.
My predecessor taught me well.
Are you going to item 9 or not?
Item 9, are there any committee reports?
I was going to update you on the jail review committee if now is the appropriate time.
That'd be great.
I've had a representative from Envoy has been reaching out for a meeting with the jail review committee again to discuss something of an RFPQ, I think is what it has been termed. And I'm not sure exactly, it sounds like it is a proposal of some sort. I'm not sure what that proposal is. However, hearing that we are trying to do a joint session, I think is the more appropriate time to have that joint session so that we can get answers to a lot of the questions that we have, as opposed to meeting in this jail review committee. I would like to see that joint session happen before there be any meeting of that jail review committee, just because of the importance of those questions that we have. So I just wanted to update you, we have not met since the last time that I reported that we did. So an Envoy representative has been reaching out to me to set up the meeting, but it's the same dates that I believe that you have been in communication with setting up the joint session. So
Yeah, I appreciate that update. Like I say, I think that we need to be as transparent as possible. I think that joint session needs to happen sooner than later.
I agree.
But I do know from being in the county building today that there was a publication to accept bids through the RFP process. And they have received some bids for, I would assume, a new jail facility. Why, I really don't have any information. I haven't been included in the process. So I really can't speak on it.
I have no information as to what that looks like as well. I felt like through the jail review committee that maybe it was a bridge, and we were discussing ideas of what to do in the future. I don't know how we went from that to what it sounds like this proposal is, and I'm not sure what this proposal even entails. So based upon that and the questions we have, that's why I think it is really important that we have that joint session.
I agree. Thank you.
The next meeting is June the 12th.
I think it's going to be June 12th. We'll have to work that out. Any other committee reports?
No, he's saying our next council meeting is June 12th.
Yeah. Our next council meeting is June the 12th. Everybody ready? Meeting adjourned.